Guess what, Ryan? It's Friday. Oh, are you? So you're going to pretend to do the music? All right.
Well,
There you go. That is as good as
we dug
imitation
out
guitar as I get.
I know we talk about gaming here. We're going to talk about gaming a lot today, but I dug out an old. This is like a PS2 Guitar Hero with the whammy bar. My son, who's a musician, he's been on the show. He's done some intro music for us on shows past. He got all nostalgic because the short story is he got a passion for playing guitar by playing Guitar Hero when he was like 10 years old, and he was like,
nice.
I want to do that for real. So that's the backstory.
It's like, I want to be a dork like you, Dad.
Yeah, right. Well, that was my way of introducing classic rock, which I don't know if that was a good plan or not, but it seemed to work.
That was a great plan. That's exactly what I did with my boys. I brought them. Whole point of bringing them up on good music. But I must admit, earlier today, I was doing some rockin' air drumming in this office. All right, so we all saw the Bernie memes going on, right? Pretty cool that I actually have.
Were we over? Was your prediction right on last week's show, or was my prediction right? I feel like it is tapering down now.
It is tapering down now. I see them. Actually, I think I only saw one or two today, but this one, the other direction. This one, am I pointing? There we go. This one, I think this is my favorite, and I think this is my favorite because it looks like the poster from Akira, and I love Akira, right? So this, I don't know. I thought this was really clever. And so there you go. I wanted to share that. So the problem is I don't know who made it, so I can't give them a shout out. It's one of those things where these things propagate so fast and get out there so quickly that people lose the ability to credit the original author, and that bums me out because I wanted to give credit where credit was due.
Yes, sir. Well,
so
for me,
did you see this?
I saw this trailer, and I wanted to say that I wasn't sure if I liked the last Godzilla movie. But I like this. I wish they would have just hurried up and did this instead of the last one.
Yeah, so the last one, first of all, I love all these films. I'm all just about giant monsters fighting, so it's cool. The last one was a little messy. The thing I really liked about the last one is it showed, first of all, it had scenes that took place in Boston. And what I liked about that was, first of all, it showed Boston as if it was in a jungle, which was really weird. Right. Like there was this one shot where it looked like Boston was in a jungle. It was bizarre. But what was really cool is at one point the monsters are making their way across the city and you see a Dunkin' Donuts billboard. So everybody here, we were like, hey, donkeys. And that's it. That's all I got for you, Ryan.
Well, for me, the reason, this is the official trailer, but the thing that I enjoyed was there was a rom-com trailer version of this.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
It was like Godzilla and Kong and Justin Long. And that was my favorite of the week.
I saw a cartoon today that somebody drew, and it's Godzilla, and he turns around, he's like, "What is that? A monkey?" And you see Rodan yelling, "Oh my God, he's got a gun!" And it's just King Kong shooting Godzilla with a gun. Anyway, I don't know. So here's another thing that was an unexpected, huge love of mine is Star Trek Lower Decks. Folks, if you have not seen this, if you even remotely give a crap about Star Trek, you don't have to be a freaked out Trekkie like me. You don't have to be passionate about the series. You don't have to have seen any of it. If you even think you might be interested in it, you should definitely watch this show. I was completely blown away by this. I think we talked about it a little bit on the last season, but our last episode, I finally finished it. And it just gets better and better and better and better right up to the last second. So if you started watching Lower Decks and you haven't finished it yet, please, folks, make time.
I don't think many people know about it because I was subscribing to CBS All Access just so I could watch Discovery, which
it's on Amazon now too.
Right. We were arguing about Discovery last week, but they're not doing a great job promoting it, and it looks like a web sort of series. So
yeah, it's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Friendship.
I got sucked back into watching The Expanse. Season 5 is out on Amazon.
I got to catch up on that. I really do. But anyway,
we have a special guest today, everybody.
Whoa, wait a minute. My eBay story. I told you I wanted to share my eBay story. You're like, we're getting into the best part of the show too quickly.
Oh my gosh! All right,
so you're gonna get a kick out of it.
Graeme, please tell us about your eBay story.
You're gonna get a kick out of this, dude. So you remember this Remember,
Yes,
I got this at Christmas.
Voltron
Right.
made Christmas successful.
Right. Now you can see based on what I'm holding up here that this thing is clearly gigantic. So my plan is to clear all of my tin robots off up here and have Voltron standing there. But, I started thinking about Voltron and how much I loved it when I was a kid. And I realized what I really loved was the Vehicle Force Voltron. Remember that one? It was like trucks for legs and helicopters for arms or whatever. And so I went on eBay and I was like, this is great. I mean, eBay is the attic of my life, right? So I'll just go get whatever I need. And I found one and I was like, this is perfect. It's huge. I'll buy one. And what was really cool is this guy had it in his garage. He didn't know what it was. He sold it. He started the bid for $1. He didn't list it right, didn't have the right terms. He didn't really know what he was describing. So I was like, I'm going to get an awesome collectible Voltron at like a bargain basement price. This is fantastic. And then I'll position them both up here and you'll see these giant, Voltron. So finally I ordered it. I won the bid. I was so excited. I'm like, this thing's going to be huge. It's awesome. So it's 6 inches tall.
That does make me nostalgic. I loved this version, and it felt like Voltron sort of was on the way out when they switched gears to this version. Right?
But it ended up being a bonus because it's got a catalog of toys from.
Like it's mint in box too, though, right? Is it?
So it's mint. It's in box. I actually cut the tape. I probably shouldn't have, but I did, to open it up and check it out. And mainly because the helicopter had fallen off, I wanted to put it back on, or the jet there. Yeah. But it's got this like catalog from 1985. It's got all this really cool stuff in it. But here's the bonus. Are you ready for this? Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
24 Voltron tattoos. And I love my tattoos, bro. So I might have to get a Voltron.
No, I want to know, like, do these I have some old, like, those are like the ones you put on with water, right? Like the peel on.
I don't know. This is not being opened, so I'm assuming so. But
I wonder how long those stand up, because I've got some old, I don't know, junky things like that too from 20 years ago.
I doubt it stands up. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you because
experts in our viewership.
I'm such a dumbass, and I knew you'd get a kick out of the fact that I thought I ordered this giant thing and it came. I mean, literally, when it showed up in this box, I was like, it showed up in this box, and I was like, "What? Wait a minute! Is he shipping just one arm at a time?" No,
so
it was the whole thing.
Was the original as big as that? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, the original one's huge, and each one of the little toys is that form Voltron. Remember, like the die-cast metal one with the lions.
This was a blessing in disguise, because we need to talk about your space management starting to.
I know. We're going to get to the guest in here in 2 seconds, but I was on a call yesterday for my board of directors for the Y that I help with. And one of the directors said, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you, why do you always dial into our meetings from your son's room? And I was like,
That is hilarious. Okay. That made my day.
All right, buddy. Let's get to the guest.
So how I have 3 baby Yodas back here, kind of?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
3. So someone made the same mistake, that they said they were too distracted in the meeting because 3 Yodas were watching them at all times.
Yeah.
Fun times. All right.
Let's get the band back together. Let's do this.
Hang on. I'm going to reposition. I'm going to play. Here we go.
Yes.
Hello, Allie. How are you?
Allie.
I'm good. How are you guys doing? I heard you need a theme song for your show.
Yeah.
So I put a little something together.
Oh, nice. Tell us. Show us.
There you go.
That's it. I'm in. I'm done. That is perfect. That's all we ever need. We'll never need another lick of music.
Let's do it. So welcome to the show. So Carney Vorous, tell us about this sideshow streamer persona that you inhabit online. I guess what is it all about? Because I see the word sideshow and I'm instantly thinking carnival, circus. I'm thinking about vaudeville. I'm thinking about a lot.
That's what I think too.
To you?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in an amusement park, literally on the Jersey Shore.
Really?
Yeah, about my first job when I was 12, working at the park, and just kind of grew up doing whatever needed to be done, helping out the family. Everything from running games to taking tickets for rides to eventually lifeguarding at the water park when I was older to eventually working in marketing, which is where I got my professional start. But yeah, I just was always surrounded by interesting, quirky, weird people. And then I moved to New York and discovered Coney Island Sideshow. I went to Sideshow school. I was obsessed with this culture of people who were celebrating like their unique brand of weirdness. And I just think that's something that everybody should do. So I just embraced that part of my past that I was trying to run away from for so long. And now on my channel, we try and, celebrate what makes us weird. We look for the value in what makes us unique and have a lot of fun doing it.
I love it so much. Can I tell you two things? So first of all, I was also a lifeguard. So lifeguard seems to be a career path into marketing for some God knows reason.
Somehow.
But the other thing is now you reminded me, I'm sure you've seen it. And did you like The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman? Have you seen that movie?
I watched it. I wasn't really paying attention to it. It kind of lost me.
So the way to look at that movie is, and somebody described it, I thought this was perfect, is it's a terrible movie with the best soundtrack ever. So if you get a chance, listen to the song This Is Me, which talks about what you just said, which is about carnival life and carnival people, but it's really about celebrating who we are as people, both diversity and our weirdness. And I mean, it's funny because Ryan and I well, I won't speak for Ryan, but like, I'm totally comfortable with what a fruitcake I am. So like, it's fine. I'm cool. I'm fine being weird. So I support your mission, Allie.
Yeah, I support it too, because I will say that I was a super nerd growing up with Coke bottle glasses, and I was Mr. Four Eyes and whatever. There's, I was bullied as a kid. Let's just put it that way. However,
me too.
I mean, literally, I think this now that we've fast forwarded to this wonderful show that we're hosting every week, it's completely embracing the nerd side of what we love, and it's a lot of fun.
They're not bullying Indiana anymore, let me tell you.
So we wanted to talk to you about streaming. So I'm a Twitch noob. I mean, literally, like, I signed up a couple of years ago, streamed something one time, I think, and I'm wondering, you're doing a lot of this and a lot of different games, but tell us why you got into it, what you think's cool about it.
I got into it as a viewer years ago. I think I first heard about it when Amazon bought it in 2015, maybe 2014-ish.
I didn't even know that part. Wow.
Oh yeah. And then it kind of became a thing. And I was like, oh, let me check this out. And I found a couple streamers that just cracked me up. I had never been so entertained in my life. So I'd have streams on in the background while I was working. Instead of music, I'd come home and put them on my TV and just enjoy being exposed to all of these new games that I still would never play, but got to enjoy the story and the commentary on. And then eventually I was just like, I think I want to improve my presentation skills and be a better speaker and be less afraid of putting myself on camera at work meetings. Let's give this a try, because it seems like a low stakes way to just have some fun and, be stupid and be myself and not be self-conscious. Yep. So it was kind of a confidence building thing for me. And then it just became something that I absolutely enjoy and love.
I mean, Ryan, that sounds like what we did with Week's End, right? It was a way for us to be us without restrictions of tightly controlled brand guidelines, and be weird and gain confidence and practice with all this stuff. So, Allie, let me understand that. So you were using it sort of as a white noise in the background kind of thing, or whatever, sort of I listen to music all the time. So you were listening to streams of people playing games and talking about games, and you were learning about new games and also seeing games that you like. Is that right?
Yeah. Or games like there's certain series, like I'll probably never play, oh my God, what's it called? Any of the first person shooter games that are huge. I can't think of the name of it.
Destiny or
I like Destiny and Cyberpunk and
Yep.
Red Dead is what's the one?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft
Ghost
Auto,
Recon is the
that's one that I love
play.
watching and will never play. I'd never play Grand Theft Auto. I'm just not into it. Right. But there's one streamer in particular called Mike the Bard who kind of blew up because he would do role playing in Grand Theft Auto and go to a bar in the game, get on stage in the game as this little avatar and break out his guitar and throw concerts for other people all within the game.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm like, this is amazing.
See,
what
this is
brilliant thing.
God, I love that.
I mean, this is what Second Life was supposed to be, I think, right?
Yes.
I love it.
Well, it also reminds me of how like people will bust into like dance groups in the tower in Destiny, or in different places. I mean, it's funny. I play Ghost Recon with some friends of mine from high school, and one of the things we've started doing lately is called Car Canyon, where we find a canyon that's near an intersection, and we block all the points of the intersection, and we just steal as many cars as will come at us, and we fill the whole canyon full of cars. To the point that there's just tons of cars all over the place, and then we all line up and just throw a grenade, and the whole thing explodes at once. And it's fun because it has nothing to do with the game, but we're finding all these ways. Like at one point we were like touring buildings, watching the sunsets. I mean, we were doing all kinds. Just we would steal airplanes and just jump and just try to hit an island or hit a point, and it has nothing to do with the game, but it's just fun. So that's really cool. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, the way people are playing games now are not like just whatever they want to do. It's exploring a whole new world, which is great.
Esports is taking off. I think most people know this, but the thing that really has broken through for me and makes me want to get involved in the same way, I think, as an observer, is I have a new smart TV, and I don't know, Samsung has all these free channels, and there's like 10 game channels that are nothing but people streaming. So literally, I don't even have to plug in my game console. It's literally just like, there's a Minecraft channel, and there's most nights there's a GTA, something going on. It's really fascinating. So I have, I want to pivot and talk about a retro game thing really quick before we talk about new games. Recently, I got one of the little PlayStation 1 minis, little, all-in-one consoles. The biggest disappointment, though, with those things is it comes with like 20 games. It's kind of like the Atari Flash that came out a few years ago. So it doesn't have all the games that, if you're a hardcore gamer, you really would want. But lo and behold, you can't stop the internet. You can buy these little PS1 USB keys, and it's essentially like bootstrapping it. It loads up the same OS, but it's got like 200 games on it, 100 games on it. You can buy one that's nothing but the fighting games. This one's called the Crackhead Pack, and it's I don't know why, but it's got all of like the platformers and the third party like the exploration.
That can't be legal, Ryan. Now you're going to go to jail, and I'm going to have to host this show by myself. This sucks.
This is legit. I bought it off Amazon, and so my story though is I've been playing. We're going to talk about survival horror today and what we're excited about coming out with Resident Evil, but I've been playing the original Dino Crisis from like '96. That was like it was like Resident Evil, but it was with dinosaurs.
That was my best.
I'm a big Dino fan.
Yeah, and the thing was, I could never beat it back when I was a kid, but now I'm a little more patient. I'm a little bit more strategic. I understand the gameplay.
Oh my god!
I also got this looks like Mario bricks, but you plug it in and it's a Bluetooth adapter, so you can use any controller on that system, which is really cool. So that's my story.
That's all I need, baby. Just one cartridge. Dig dug.
So let's talk about Resident Evil for a minute. This is something we were all talking about offline, but Capcom put out a big like virtual event on the 21st this month, and they were introducing a new game. They were also talking about the anniversary. So what, I know you're excited about it, Allie. What are you most excited about with what you saw last week?
I mean, I don't know if excited is the right word. I'm going to play it because I love to torture myself, but I'm really scared. So I got a PS5 finally somehow recently and played through the Resident Evil 8 demo. It was just super short, but it made me terrified of my own footsteps. So like every step you take in the demo sounds like someone's walking up behind you. And I don't even have surround sound. I wasn't even playing with headsets.
You're not like doing 3D, like I don't know how 3D audio in your headphones works, but that's a thing now apparently.
No, I wasn't even wearing my headset. It was just on my TV playing. I thought someone was coming in behind me.
So are you a person? I've played a lot of these in the series. I'm a Resident Evil fanatic from the original PS1 all the way. I've played the Wii games. I played the when they first started redoing the games on the GameCube. Played those. So are you a person who likes to turn out the lights to play this and play it by yourself? Or are you like trying to torture yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I remember the earlier games. So the first one I ever played was RE7, and that was recently. That was over like Halloween time, October, November. And before that, I think I was in college. It had to be a PS2 2. Whatever Resident Evil game was out on that, I started it. I was too scared to play it. I had to stop. So that was my previous experience with Resident Evil. I've loved the movies, which is kind of a, I guess, controversial opinion. I've just always really enjoyed them as an action series. But yeah, RE7, I was just streaming it and I screamed. I was screaming so much that my neighbors filed a noise complaint against me.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, the first one, which I played on the PlayStation when it came out, I played Tomb Raider, all those games, which were fantastic. In fact, the PlayStation, I think, was the very first video game system I bought with my own money when I was growing up. And what sticks out to me about the Resident Evil was, first of all, it was terrifying, and it had the same effect on me. It completely freaked me out. But there was a piano or something in it. I got to go back and see if I can find it. And it just was haunting. And it was in this room that was really creepy. And what's crazy is I went to a couple of years ago, I went back to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, which is here in Massachusetts in Boston. And it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful, this wealthy individual had a private collection and eventually became a museum. You may know it. It's famous because it was a couple of pieces were stolen and the FBI are still trying to find them. Anyway, in this museum, there's a room that has a piano, and it looks exactly like the room from Resident Evil. And I remember walking through the museum and I was like, oh, this is a really nice museum. Then I walked in that room and I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here now. I was just like, I'm leaving. This is really scary. It like brought back all the memories.
I've had the similar experience to you, Allie, where I've want to play it and I get to a certain point, like Resident Evil 2 and 3. I think I got like 70-ish% through the game and couldn't handle it. Like once you go in a certain area, it's just like it feels too much.
I had told Stream I would play it because they made me play it. Like they had voted the channel points to make me play RE7 out of all the horror games I could have played. And I told them, like, I will get through the house. When I get to the boat, I'm done. I'm not like going into that scary boat. No way. I'm not doing it. Not going in there. But I ended up doing the whole game. And I was super proud of myself, but I could not have done it if I wasn't streaming it and had people give me moral support because it was
I think that's another benefit of the shared experience that is new and different. And a game that I've been wanting to play that I couldn't play more than 15 minutes of, like similar to what you're saying, is Alien Isolation.
Oh, no.
So it's like, imagine you're Ripley and you're on an abandoned space station and you can't see anything.
Well, I mean, in that case, I say we just take off and nuke the site from orbit. Right. It's the only way to be sure.
Yep.
You're being hunted the entire way through that game. I've watched streams of that because it's not one I would ever play. But it's always entertaining.
Speaking of nerdy swag.
Oh, boy.
I've got Resident Evil swag from, I don't know, I must have bought some special edition thing back in the day.
I just have a Super Nintendo shirt on.
I'm just wearing a shirt.
Let's talk about Village. I was confused because it felt like a Castlevania game at first. but I haven't played all the way through 7, probably not as much as you. I only played I think I only played the demo of 7, and it was the only Resident Evil game I think in the series that I had not bought. For whatever reason, I just didn't get into it. And so another question I have that I don't understand that is, it says it's named Village, but it's saying that you're leaving the village that I guess might be from 7 and you're going to a castle. So the name is even confusing to me.
Yeah, from the demo, the name confused me. The demo was called Maiden and it took place in some kind of mansion. Maybe it was a castle. I'm assuming it's some kind of winery.
There we go.
Yeah, when you go, part of it, you go into this room full of wine and you read a letter saying like Madame Dimitro, I don't know how you pronounce her name, creates a special wine in an ornate bottle. And there's like it alludes to the fact that it might be made of blood.
Right.
This is the vampire element comes in.
I think you're right. I think I've been seeing a meme going around about that character and
the tall lady.
The tall lady.
Everyone loves the tall lady.
I guess I don't know if that's her daughter. It reminds me of like the Daughters of Darkness. They turn into what I think are bats. I'm not sure. They sort of like can dematerialize and rematerialize. Mm-hmm. When you look at this new, like the walkthrough that they did last week where they show gameplay, It's still focused on this Ethan character, which is new to the sort of Resident Evil universe.
I remember a character named Joseph, I think, or something like that from the original, and I think he got eaten by a zombie or something. I don't know.
Well,
Who didn't get eaten by a zombie in that series?
Yeah. Who among us hasn't been eaten by a zombie?
But it sounds like Chris Redfield is in this game as well, I think. So he's been a mainstay since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I like the aesthetic of it because I like that they're going back to something that has more interiors, more claustrophobic. Because that's what I think of.
Yes, it was very claustrophobic. Yeah. I love that.
7 was like that too.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tomb Raider was like that. I played I actually busted out my PlayStation 1. My son set it up in his room, and I was playing the original Tomb Raider again. Two things. First of all, it's still a great game and is very innovative. And second of all, oh my God, I forgot how hard it is. Like it's all the little puzzles that she has to solve in order to make it onto the next room. Like I got stuck in this one room forever, and I finally solved it and got out, but it was like, oh my God, I forgot. Back in the day, time had a different thing when you were sitting around in a dorm room with skipping all your classes. It was fine.
Trying to avoid work.
Yes. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Are you a PlayStation person or Xbox person, or do you have multiple systems?
I'm Xbox or PlayStation. I tried Xbox for a year. I got the Xbox One when it came out, and I was like, let me see what I've been missing because everyone loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't like the interface.
Right.
It seemed to cater a lot more to highly competitive first-person shooters, and I like more story-driven. I can shoot, but I need a story there too.
I feel that's how PlayStation forever, man. Yep. Yeah. Definitely. So, and I've only had the 1 and the 4, and I got to get a 5. I never had 2 and 3 there. But I mean, I don't know. I'm cool, I guess.
You're trying
to be. I'm trying to be, buddy. I'm trying.
I know. Well, what I realized is I buy less games every console generation because less time and the games are longer. So I have 50,
and they're not cheap.
Well, they're not cheap either.
And they're going up. They're going to be like $70 now.
PlayStation 2, they have 50 games. Most of them I didn't finish. They were cool at the time. And there's a ton of just quality stuff, quality content.
So, Allie, let me hit you with a couple of quick hit questions, and then we'll let you get back to your streaming and all the incredible things that you do. Favorite all-time video game? Can you think of one that's your favorite of all time?
I really like the Shantae series, Shantae the Half Genie. Just a fun, quirky little adorable platformer with a just fun, stupid story. But I love all the games in that series.
That's awesome. What game or games make you feel very nostalgic? Like what's something you remember playing when you were really little?
Really little? I mean, I guess Mario, but I'm not crazy about it. I would say any Final Fantasy game, even more recent ones, the music just gets me right in the feels, takes me way back.
Ryan, I've got something you've got to put up on the screen right now. I'm gonna put this in the chat in the StreamYard right here. Go ahead and put that on the screen. And I think all three of us are about to feel a little older. So I'm sorry. I'm going to warn you in advance. This is going to sting a bit. Okay. But it is the perfect segue based on what Allie just said there.
Hold, please.
Hold it. Oh, God. Oh, no. I feel so bad about this. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. What is it?
You'll see. No, it's not
You're scaring me.
Just blow the whole image up.
All right.
Oh, God.
Oh, my.
Patient is basically dead. I was like, well, I guess that's that then.
Oh, man.
So I have the original. I started playing the original, the PlayStation with Final Fantasy VII. I still have the original 3-disc.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, man. That is in my house right now.
Me too.
Yeah. And I've been playing, that's what's taken up all my time. That's why I haven't been playing any real games, is I've been playing the remake for the past 6 months.
Connie, Allie, we like to wrap up these discussions with letting you pitch. So where can people find you? Is there is there something you want, just go there. Just go there. Is there a charity you support? You can pitch anything you want to us.
There is. There's a lot to pitch. You'll find most of my information and everything at all the socials are at Carney Vorous. You can find me on Twitch. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays.
Awesome.
I'm raising money for Extra Life for kids, supporting the Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital this year. So we've got a goal of $1,500 this year, and we're going all year long. Game day is not till November, so we've got a long way to go. And I'm excited. It's my third year supporting Extra Life.
Well, that is fantastic. I do a lot of support for youth development myself. So let's make sure, Ryan, that we get a link to that charity from Allie, and that when we share the show notes for this, that we share that out as well. That's really important.
Awesome. I'll send that to you guys.
All right, let's do a lightning round. How fast can we do, folks?
Let's take a look at a few things.
First up is you've got a Pac-Man book.
Yeah, so that is my GIF in the lower right-hand corner there of SpongeBob sweating, saying, "I need it." Like, I need this. I mean, look, I've got my Pac-Man chair that I sit on when I'm working. I love Pac-Man. Waka waka waka. So this book looks cool, but it comes with the remember Pac-Man Fever? It's like a horrible song from the 80s, but I love the book. So, folks, if this, I think it's up for pre-order.
I love the 6-inch vinyl.
I know that's okay.
And he's got different levels. So there's like $100 level, a $7, and then there's just like a $35 level for the book. So definitely want people to check this out. This is a good book. So another one, and this, I think we got another one coming up here that I'm excited about. Weird Field World. So this was a Kickstarter. This artist, Rob Turpin, is ridiculously talented and very, very innovative. His take on sort of like spaceships is really cool. And he's created this universe called Weird Field World. He kickstarted the book. He has fulfilled all of his Kickstart orders. I think it just finished yesterday. He actually shared some really interesting analytics about that today and where the orders were coming from around the world. But it goes on sale again tomorrow. And you can also buy prints and stuff that come with it. And like each little ship has like a description as to like what it is and where. So Weird Field World, highly recommend. At This Northern Boy, make sure you check that out.
All right, I've got one for you folks. We don't talk about music a lot on the show, but if you should check out Langhorne Slim. If you don't know him, he's from Pennsylvania. He just put out a new album that he's been essentially doing in his house, and he's been, I mean, if you watch, it's been a tough. Last year was really tough for musicians. He was streaming daily, working on his craft, sharing, entertaining folks. And the result of that is him putting out this new album called Strawberry Mansion. And he was just written up in Rolling Stone today. So kudos to Langhorne. If you haven't seen him live when the pandemic's over, you got to. It's like a religious experience, I promise you.
I like his Paddington hat. I'm such a jerk. All right, let's get somber.
Yeah, thanks, Graeme. Well, we wanted to give a little bit of a moment. The 35th anniversary of the Challenger accident was this week. Graeme and I, when we were in Orlando, I think 2 years ago, went to the Kennedy Space Center. We saw the hall of the tribute hall where they have,
personal artifacts of astronauts who've died.
Every astronaut from both Challenger and Columbia, and Gemini,
Apollo and others.
Yeah, Apollo. So it's just, I don't know, that one hits you in the gut when you see this in person. They also, this is one of the panels from the Challenger that they recovered. They also have the windows, the frame of the windows from the Columbia. It's one of those things, man, that I don't know about you.
Man, But this is a big moment for our generation. I mean, we all remember, this is one of those, where you were. I know where I was. I was at Jackson Street School. I had a broken leg. I was sitting in a wheelchair watching this all go down, and I was completely dialed into this. I mean, I have been passionate about NASA my whole life. I was totally dialed into Teacher in Space. I mean, my father was a high school principal, so I was getting all kinds of really cool information and, different stuff about it. And I was really passionate. And when that thing exploded, man, it was like the world went off the rails. So Ryan, being in that hall was pretty cool. I mean, two of us were pretty emotional about it. I didn't know it was there. You and I kind of discovered it as we went through. but and we've talked about the documentary, The Final Flight, that's on Netflix. If people haven't seen it, I always have to mention Netflix, Ali. I'm a huge Netflix fan, so I pitch Netflix. They really should just sponsor this show at this point.
Graeme,
good
Netflix money. I get none of it. Yeah,
he gets nothing, and he likes it. But yeah, man, I'm glad we recognize this. It's an important thing to. It's an important anniversary to mark.
Yep, without a doubt. All right, let's bring it back up. Do we like? I just want to go. I want to go.
Look, all I want to say is the only thing I have to say about George Clooney being Buck Rogers is, at first you had my curiosity, now you have my attention. Like that's all I want to say about this.
I was a huge fan of the original, and it was quirky in a way that it didn't take itself so serious. I mean, it had time travel. Yeah. You were in space with lasers. You were flying around, with aliens, but it kind of had this quirky charm to it, and I think George can pull it off. I don't know.
I honestly think they're going to go like they did with
thumbs down on George Clooney. Each of us. What do you think?
I'm thumbs up. Thumbs up. I think it'll be more like Lost in Space, where they went very serious and almost dark with it. So I'm actually curious to see what they do with this, because I don't think it's going to be silly. So I think it'll be. I'm excited about. Oh, there's Paddington again. I'm really excited about it.
That's our show, folks.
Okay. Yay. Well, that was easy.
All right. Well, Ali, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you guys for having me. This was really fun.
You on these things always go so fast, but I know we could nerd out for hours and hours about this stuff. I'm going to be looking in on your streams and see what you're doing. What do you? You say you're streaming 3 days a week. Are you doing different games? Are you working through one full game start to finish, or how do you approach that?
Usually I'll do a game start to finish if I'm playing one that way. I play a lot of indie games that are roguelike, so there's no real ending. It's more like unlocking new stuff and having little goals per stream. Right now I'm kind of between games, so we're doing Red Dead Online with friends and just having a hell of a time.
That's great.
Riling up the Old West, but
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for joining us. I also want to make sure we say thank you to 6-inch Voltron for joining us. That's so stupid.
Poor little guy.
I know. Oh no, we love you. It's okay.
Learn your lesson. You've got to read the fine print there, Graeme.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Ali, for being on the show. Thanks as always, my wonderful co-host Graeme Noseworthy. I am Ryan Boyles, and this is Week's End. We'll see you next week for more.
Happy Friday!
Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Woo!